Good evening, Michael. Good evening, everybody. This is going to be an interesting night where I'm going to attempt to do a little bit of multitasking.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes, but it may be a little bit maybe a little bit quieter than normal on the old co-commentary, unfortunately, just while I'm going to concentrate on both.
We'll check in with Keith. We'll check in with Keith pre-match, half-time, and he's got his microphone when he wants to pick it up during the match if he's got a chance to say something. But Keith will be producing highlights tonight, real-time, or as close to real-time as we can get them, to put out on social media. So keep an eye on the Darlow social media accounts for any key moments from tonight's match if you aren't already watching on National League TV. Just a chance for some quick hellos. I'm probably going to do the team news as the teams are coming out, because that way everybody watching on National League TV gets to hear it as well. So I'm just going to do Stu's normal job. I don't know if he's here tonight. If you are listening, Stu, give us a wave in the chat, say hello. But for now, it's good evening to Joe Jacks, Ian D, Skategirl 23, Still Darlow, hi from Boston. Hello from Stupa in Greece to DFC Greece. Hey Steve 32911. John Noble checking in from Sheffield. And Ian D, looking forward to another cracking commentary. You guys always do a fine job. Well, very much appreciated, Ian. It's me in charge tonight, so we'll see if you still think that in about 90 minutes time. I will tell you, ahead of giving you the team lineups in just a few minutes, that there are two changes for the Quakers. And for Chester, who won 3-0 at the weekend, it's an unchanged 16. Both sides haven't been in the greatest of form coming into tonight's fixture. Both sides without a win in 5 in the league, and Chester additionally knocked out of the FA Cup by Scarborough as part of that run. So they were 6 without a win, I think it was, and they'd gone 4 without scoring in the league as well, until Saturday, when 2 goals from Charlie Caton and 1 from Tom Pears helped them to a 3-0 victory over Hereford. Darlington went to Farsley, and by going to Farsley I mean they went to Buxton and beat Farsley Celtic 2-0. Ali Al-Shabib's first goal for the Quakers, and Elliot Forbes turning in a cross that their keeper was left floundering at, helping Darlington to the 3 points and their first league victory in 5 as well. The previous fixture between the two sides was a 0-0 draw at the end of last season. I think if I remember rightly, Darlington's last game of the season, after we had secured promotion here, after we'd saved ourselves from relegation, promotions this season, at Blackwell Meadows. The previous game we went down to Chester for our last game of the season and drew 0-0. I remember it because I believe up until that point Stephen Terry hadn't drawn a game. That was naturally they left it. Yeah. They left it late. They drew that one 0-0.
Yeah, that was one. I must admit, we went to that one, and that was very much. It was the strangest celebration party for. Well, staying up, essentially. But no, it was one of those games that was just a fantastic atmosphere from start to finish. And I think at the end, the players appreciated how well everybody, how well the fans had supported the team that day.
And we will get back into the tail of the tape a little later on. The teams are on their way out. And I can see from our feed that the National League TV hit stream has picture, hopefully has audio as well. So a big welcome to you wherever you're tuning in and however you're tuning in from around the world on Darlow Fans Radio or National League TV tonight. The teams, starting with the Quakers, who named Peter Jameson in goal, wearing number 1. 3 and captain is Scott Barrow. 5, Toby Lees. 6, Elliot Forbes. 8, Will Hatfield. 9, Jack Maskell. 10, Cedric Main. 14, Will Flint. 16, Will McGowan. 26, Callum Griffiths. And 27, Ali Al-Shabib. On the bench, Matty Cornish, Jarrett Rivers, Cameron Salkeld, Joe Leasley and Caden Kelly. Unchanged 16 for the visitors, who name Eli Harrison in goal, wearing 26. 3 is Harrison Burke. 5 and captain Connell Rawlinson. 7, Tom Pears. 10, Charlie Caton. 14, Nathan Woodthorpe. 15, Will Hugel. 16, Ben Pollock. 17, Mitch Hancocks. 18, Jack Bainbridge. And 19, Reece Daly. Substitutes, Jordan Hunter, Kurt Willoughby, Dan Turner, Ewan Murray and Kevin Roberts. Today's referee is Declan Brown. He will be assisted by Stephen Burkett and Liam Smith. The 4th official is Alex Clark. Darlington will be in the usual home kit: black and white shirts, black shorts, black and white socks. Chester all in yellow. As the tonight's official, Declan Brown, calls the players to the centre circle. It is Armed Forces Day here at Blackwell Meadows, so there will now be a minute's silence in honour.
This evening, the stars of war in the Royal Beach in the Remembrance Weekend of Trophy. The amount of respect and those who have lost their lives and conflicts across the world.
As tonight's official, Declan Brown, calls the players to the centre circle. It is Armed Forces Day here at Blackwell. Performance of the last post there, alongside the minute's silence. Chester players just going through a little bit of a pre-match huddle, and I should say hello to any Chester fans that we have watching the match on National League TV tonight, or indeed listening on Darlow Fans Radio. Big hello to all of you. Election day here in the US, indeed. Time to focus less on the red versus blue for a couple of hours and focus on the black and white versus yellow to take place in front of us here. Chester will be kicking us off, and Darlington will be attacking the open ends in the first half. Just awaiting the referee's whistle to get the match underway. Just waiting for the referee's whistle. He's just waiting for 7:45. It's just a little bit early. I think we're good to go. And there we are underway. Chester getting us kicked off. Immediately lobbing the ball forward and trying to get the ball into that Darlington back four. Toby Lee's intercepting. McGowan picks it up and lays it out to the left for Scott Barrow. Barrow taking a touch, just plays it through the middle, looking for the runner Cedric Main. And that's just over his head, nodded away by Rawlinson, Chester's captain. Ball loose in the centre circle. Hatfield picks it up, but it runs loose again. And it's with Nathan Woodthorpe now. Lays it back, played long down the left-hand side. Headed away by Leeds, but only as far as Chester coming again, but it's Al-Shabi cutting that one out. And Chester get the throw in. Woodthorpe to take it. Woodthorpe gets the ball back, tries to cut inside. Leaves it for Hancock, he plays it forward, but it's intercepted. That's a little loose, and Al-Shabi can pick it up. Plays it through for Maskell, he's looking for Main, but that's telegraphed and cut out. Hugo giving the ball to Bainbridge and then carrying on. Well cut out by Barrow though, but that's left a little bit of space in behind. Cut into the area, and that's well shepherded back to Pete Jameson. It's weird. There we go. Don't mind the beeping, it's just our little timer hasn't done its job, not quite. So we're about 2 minutes in. Not according to our timer though. We're about 10 seconds in. Never mind. Chester with the ball just inside the Darlington half. Hopefully everybody on Darlow Fans Radio and National League TV can hear us okay. It's Chester keep the ball and look to bring it forward. A little bit of space on the right hand side, overlap, ball comes in, it's cut out, it's landed on the edge of the area, laid back towards Hancock, but cleared away. Main can't get to it on the halfway line. It just bounces over Al Shabib, but Flint out well. Loose ball driven up the left hand side from Chester, all the way out for a goal kick. Chester having the early exchanges, just the early balance of play, keeping the ball in the Darlington half. Form's bringing it forward now for the Quakers. Got that second goal on Saturday. Across to Lees to Griffiths. Griffiths looking for Main through the middle, but that one's cut out. It'll come back to Toby Lees. He leaves it for Pete Jameson. Jameson rolls it out to Forbes. Forbes turns, looks for options ahead of him. Lofts one out to the right hand side for Griffiths. He brings it down on his chest. Up the right hand side for Al Shabib. He nods it inside looking for Maskell, but that's going to be cut out before it can reach him. Comes off Flint. Lands with Cedric Main. He tries to flick it round the corner, but it's intercepted, and Bainbridge can bring it forward now for Chester. Well marshalled by Flint, and Forbes can tidy up. Scott Barrow with it now, plays it back to Jameson. Flint to Griffiths, and then he wants it straight back. Across to Forbes, pings one out to the left hand side. Nice little diagonal that, but too much on it for Scott Barrow. Nice idea though. Chester throw in. Throw in nodded back into the Chester half, but it's the away side who have the ball, lofting it over the top. That'll be a comfortable collection for Flint, and he just nods it back. Forbes, and he just nods it back to Jameson. Just trying to get a feel for the Darlington shape. I think it's the back four, and then maybe Flint and Hatfield. Maybe a normal 4-4-2. It'll be Main and Maskell up front. Loose ball drops to Maskell. He turns it round the corner for the run of Barrow on the left hand side. He's got a little bit of space here, Barrow. Cuts it inside, cut across. Maskell with it now, has a chance to shoot, doesn't take it, lays it for Al Shabib. His shot's deflected. Maskell will try to get the loose ball. Comes down to Hatfield. Half volleyed over the bar. Should Jack Maskell have shot there?
That was a good chance actually, and probably looking at it, Jack Maskell could have actually left it. If he'd have left it, Al Shabib had certainly the easier shot of the two there. Was in a much better position central, but Maskell probably just didn't get the loud enough call there. But a good build up from Darlington. And one thing I've noticed already is how many battles Will Flint's winning in the middle of midfield already. He's 2 or 3 already, and he's tracked back and won the ball. So really good.
And they've been very impressive since arriving on loan from Doncaster. Will Flint paired up with Will Hatfield again back in the side tonight after his injury. But as is the way with Darlow at the moment, it's one injury in, one injury out. Andrew Nelson not making the 11 after going off on Saturday. Jameson plays the ball out to Griffiths. Griffiths up the right hand side looking for the run of Main, and he will not quite get to that. I thought he was going to. But Bainbridge, I think it was, who gets there first and plays it out for a throw in. Callum Griffiths will take it just inside the Chester half, right hand side. Throws it back to Lees. Lees across to Forbes. Bit of room on the left hand side for Barrow, but Forbes opts to play it back to his centre back partner. And out to the right for Griffiths instead. Griffiths back to Lees. Darlington just being patient, looking for the gaps. Chester keeping a very clear 4-4-2 shape ahead of them. Griffiths with it now, cuts inside. Dinks one over the top looking for Main, but that's nodded away. Flint will pick up the loose ball. Gives it back to Griffiths, gets it back again. Flint and Griffiths just exchanging passes on this right hand touchline. Back with Toby Lees now. Lees brings it across the halfway line, lays it across to Forbes. He's going to come forward, plays it to Barrow. Barrow trying to get the ball down the left. It's charged down, comes back off him, and he rescues the throw in, but Chester will come again. Ball forward, kind of into the middle of nowhere, really. Comfortable for Toby Lees to collect. Plays it back to Jameson. He plays it out to Griffiths. Lees takes the pass from Griffiths, brings the ball forward. Forbes. Back to Lees, just on the edge of the centre circle. Darlington being very patient. Chester not leaving anything in front of them, so they just have to move the ball side to side and try and keep probing and passing and try to open up some sort of gap. Griffiths with it now, ball forward for Main. Flag stays down, but as soon as Main goes to bring that down, flag goes up.
I was going to say, even it was one of those, as soon as the ball was hit, he did look quite considerably offside there.
He did just sneak in around the back, didn't he? But Chester were happy to let him because he was offside.
But one thing for everybody, for people listening, it's one of those really kind of dark, misty nights tonight here at Blackwell Meadows, isn't it? And there's certainly, with the moisture in the air, it's put that bit of zip on the pitch, which you can see is helping the play, helping those passes. So it's something that we're not probably used to, but yeah, there's that definite zip tonight.
Goal kick headed away by Lees. Aerial battle won second time around by a Chester player, nodded forward. This time it's Will Hatfield heading it sideways. Al-Shabib helping it back. Lees, that's more up in the air really than away. And Bainbridge with the latest header. Hatfield now. Finally it lands on the ground with Flint. He takes it on his chest, plays it over the top, looking for the run of Main. Maskell had gone on ahead of him, hoping to capitalise on any Chester mistake, but they get the ball clear. Ball just goes out for a throw in now. Not entirely sure that was over the line, but the assistant on this near side. We're up on the balcony tonight. Signals to his right for a Darlington throw-in. Callum Griffiths will get a chance to deliver. Throws it back to Lees. Darlington will look to build from the back again. Forbes just checks his incursion into the Chester half and gives it back to Lees. Lees pings one out to the left hand side looking for Barrow, and he brings that down nicely, trying to lay it back to Hatfield, but couldn't quite get the direction on it, and Chester will intercept. Long ball over the top. Lees helps that back to Forbes, but he just slips and Chester can come forward now down the right hand side. A little bit of an overlap here. Ball crossed in, Jameson punches away well. Runs loose to the edge of the area though. Danger still here, danger still on here for Chester, but that ball forward blocked by Griffiths. Comes to Bainbridge, edge of the box. Lays it out to the right hand side. Chester just trying to move it around, find some space for a cross now. Well worked, Bainbridge just lets it run across him. Shoots left footed off the post and out. First big chance goes to the visitors.
That was a very good chance. Chester had just worked that opening really well there and just turned on the edge of the box and found that couple of yards of space and got the shot away, and it beat Pete Jameson, but unfortunately just didn't quite beat the post.
Jack Bainbridge it was, just let the ball run across him. Low and left footed. Jameson couldn't reach it, but the post saves the Quakers that time. As Forbes pings one out to the right hand side for Griffiths, but that's intercepted at the expense of a throw in. Griffiths back to Lees. That's a fairly common throw in at the moment. Forbes over the halfway line this time. Checks it left to Barrow. And then Hatfield comes back for the return. Lees and Hatfield exchanging passes. The only two outfield players in the Darlow half at the moment, as Hatfield comes across and leaves Lees there on his own. Back to Forbes, just on the halfway line. And again, Darlington just being forced to bring it back to the defensive line and find a way forward from there. Griffiths looking for the run of Main down the right hand side, again intercepted. Griffiths will keep the pressure on, and Flint will battle for that with Charlie Caton, Chester's leading scorer this season, 9 in the league, 2 on Saturday. And now it's Chester's turn to bring the ball back to their defence and start moving it sideways. Two sides keeping themselves very organised at the moment. Woodthorpe with it right now. to Pollock, he plays it across the defence. Cedric Main sets off in pursuit, but Chester will bring the ball into the Darlington half. Over on that far side. Slightly loose ball across the back line there. Giving Pollock some work to do. He slips as he clears it, but it will go to Caton. Although Alan Griffiths just plays it against Flint. I'm not sure he quite intended that zip on that. Maybe that's the zip that the keeper's just talking about, catching Griffiths and Flint out there. Griffiths with the throw in. Guess who he took it to? And then Lees across to Forbes. And he's out to Griffiths. Back to Lees. Will Hatfield covering for Barrow over on that left-hand side, who's just wandered a little bit further forward to make himself available. Forbes with a nice ball out to Griffiths on the right, and he lays it back to Al-Shabib. That's nice. Al-Shabib just leaves his man on the floor, plays it to Griffiths, gets it back, but can't get it under control, unfortunately, and Chester can bring it away again, but Will Hatfield's there to win it back. And the loose ball's collected by Callum Griffiths, right-hand side. Griffiths lays it sideways for Main. Gives it to Griffiths. Griffiths across the middle looking for Hatfield, but he can't get it under control. Loose ball comes to Cedric Main inside the area though. He cuts it back for Hatfield. His shot. I wondered if it might have got a little deflection, but it's a comfortable take in the end for Eli Harrison. First shot on target for the Quakers.
Yeah, it was good effort. It was just one of those where just Will Hatfield found himself on the edge of the box there with a bit of space, and I think he was just caught in two minds whether to try and go for power, and eventually sort of ended up hitting it with the inside of his foot, which kind of was fairly straight for the keeper and a fairly comfortable save in the end.
And from that clearance, Darlington got the ball back. Slid back to Forbes. He's got to backtrack a little bit and plays it back to Jameson. Jameson clears left-footed. That's going to come to Cedric Main, is it? Just bounces over him. No, he nods it forwards to Maskell. Maskell's got a bit of space to run into. Tries to turn it around the corner for McGowan, who carried on ahead of him but couldn't quite do it. Clearance only as far as Barrow. He turns it back up the left-hand side again. Maskell rising highest. Ball drops loose. McGowan can't win that one. Cleared again. Flint's battling, but Chester are going to... No, they're not. I was going to say Chester are going to pick up that loose ball, but it's Scott Barrow again. He's turned it inside looking for Maskell, but not enough on it that time. And Chester will come up the right-hand side this time. Barrow's making it back to left-back now. And again, Darlington keeping their shape and forcing Chester back to their keeper. And that's going to go from one keeper all the way through to the other. Harrison's clearance all the way through to Jameson. And it's Darlington's turn to come. Through Lees to Griffiths. He pings it across to Forbes now. And then carries on down the right-hand side. He's got a bit of room here, Callum Griffiths. Takes the ball down nicely. Tries to swing in across, but it's charged down. That's going to be a Darlington throw-in, maybe about 10 yards from the byline. Darlington are just starting to find their way into this. Around quarter of an hour gone. Still 0-0, but Chester have hit the post, and Darlington have also had tested Harrison through Will Hatfield. Griffiths tries to throw one into the area, but it's nodded away. And then he's not there for the loose ball. Seconds are cleared. Lees heads it back down the right-hand side. And then a couple of slices later, it's out for a Darlington throw-in. Pollock, I think it was, slicing it out of play. Griffiths to Lees, Lees to Flint. Forbes with it now. Changes passes with Hatfield, and then I thought he was going to go back to Jameson, but sideways to Lees. Lees to Forbes. Forbes across to Hatfield. Just has to check. Exchanges passes with McGowan, and then plays it back to Forbes. Forbes, I thought for a second, was going to go for the diagonal to Griffiths again. Hatfield it is, playing it forward. Flag stays down. Jack Maskell's got in behind here on the byline, but it's cleared away before he can get it under control, and that will be the first corner of the game to the home side.
And that's a couple of times now that Jack Maskell's just got giving the defender something to think about. But to be fair, the Chester back line sitting in that very flat back four, seeing them sitting in a very rigid 4-4-2, like Michael said. So just a couple of times have managed to get just round into those channels and get the ball down that way, and resulting in the upcoming corner.
It's Al-Shabib has gone over to take it. Maskell's lurking on the edge of the area. We've seen what he can do from a corner against Spennymoor. What's going to happen here? Ball delivered under the byline. I think the keeper's got a punch on that. And it's cleared, but Flint will bring that away and couldn't quite play it to McGowan. It goes out for a Chester throw-in. It's going to be Nathan Woodthorpe to take it. Pumped on its way by Bainbridge, but Lees gets to the second ball and nods it back all the way to Jameson. Forbes brings it forward now. Gives it to Barrow. And the Darlow captain goes back to the Darlow keeper. Sideways to Lees. He just brings it forward a little bit and then plays it to Forbes. He takes it over the halfway line. Al-Shabib out on the left hand side at the moment. Exchanging passes. Barrow slides in. Maskell down that left hand. No, not Maskell, sorry. I'm going to see who that is down there. As Keith says, quite a misty night. Al-Shabib with it now. Plays it to Main. Gets it back but can't quite get onto the ball towards the edge of the area. Flint does well to win it back though, plays it to Lees. Forbes has just stayed a little bit forward, so it's Hatfield alongside Lees at the moment, and that one's charged down from Hatfield, and there's a bit of room for Chester to come through here. Possible danger from Charlie Caton, goes up against Lees. I think that gets a nick off Toby Lees and goes out for the visitors' first corner, but just for a second there it looked dangerous.
Yeah, Chester managed to just expose us a little bit at the back there, and it was well worked, put Will Hatfield under a little bit of pressure, and then they managed to pick the ball up, and then for a second the forward had a one-on-one with Toby Lees, but Toby Lees did well and managed to get his foot in as the forward got the shot off. But it's another little warning sign there for Darlington.
Corner to Chester then on their left hand side, going to be taken by Hancock, left footed. It's going to be an outswinger, lands on the penalty spot, headed away. Up back in by Bainbridge, but second time of asking. Maskell with the clearance. Nicely nodded down by McGowan. Maskell's kept going and tries to bring it away, but charged down and in to win it back. McGowan battling for it again, but losing out. And then they're trying to sneak it through a gap for Charlie Caton, but can't be done. Darlington with it now on the right hand side. Griffiths to Al-Shabib. Touch was a little loose, but he manages to keep control. Main lays it back to Griffiths. Griffiths over the top looking for Maskell. He could have just nodded it backwards. McGowan was in space behind him, but couldn't quite do it, unfortunately. Chester with the clearance. Forbes wins that one. Hatfield helps it on its way and then goes on after it. He's got McGowan up ahead of him. Bit of space here for McGowan. McGowan across to Maskell. Maskell shoots. I think, did that get a deflection? It's not looking like it. Just over the bar.
Yeah, and again, Darlington getting some joy down that left-hand channel as we're playing at the moment, and that's definitely where the chances are coming from at the moment. Chester are sitting, as we said, in those two banks of four, and there's not a great lot of space in between the two banks, so the way forward is probably to get those balls down the channels, and again it resulted in another good chance for Maskell there, but just couldn't keep his shot down.
Chester with a player down injured in their area. Gives Callum McIntyre a chance to dispense some instructions, as do Stephen Terry in the opposite dugout. Chance for players to take on some fluid. We're about just over 20 minutes in, still goalless, but couple of chances, couple of half chances for both sides. And the referee just letting the players know that we are ready to continue. No treatment needed. Well, possibly a new pair of boots for Nathan Woodthorpe, just down in front of us. And it is going to be a goal kick from that Jack Maskell shot. Harrison gets us back underway. Hatfield nods it, but just on the halfway line. Chester tries to knock it forward again. Maskell will come and nod that back to Barrow. Barrow to Forbes. Lees. Back to Forbes. Lees again, just has to check, sideways to Forbes. He's going to bring it over the halfway line. Gives it to Maskell. I think he was trying something there, but he just got caught under his feet. Keeps it anyway. McGowan with it now, just back to goal, edge of the area. Has to check, plays it out to Barrow. Barrow in right footed, it's been left. Shot on the turn from Maskell, it's going to drop for him again. And he tries to play it over himself and gets to the loose ball, and penalty shout possibly. Maskell caught as he goes through after that. Stayed down. Have another look at that. There was a little bit of a shout at the behind that goal, wasn't there?
Certainly the supporters behind the goal were appealing there. It's obviously hard to tell from where we're standing, couldn't really get a good view of it, but the only thing I would say is that nobody else seemed to claim, none of the players seemed to claim very much for it, and Maskell's now up on his feet anyway and doesn't seem to be protesting too much himself.
There's all the noise coming from behind the goal there rather than on the pitch, so we continue. But ball into Maskell's feet there, just couldn't get the shot away. And he's just kind of hanging around on the edge of the area, keeping Harrison company. He kicks it out of his hand into the Darlington half. McGowan tries to help it back into the Chester half, but it's intercepted on the halfway line. Bainbridge helping it on now. Forbes hooks it back over his head. Bainbridge again, but that's only as far as Hatfield. He gives it to Flint, but it's the difficult one to get under control. Flint does well to slide it back. Forbes over the top for Griffiths. Griffiths tries to play it forward to Al-Shabib on the right hand side, but unfortunately not quite had the direction on it. Goes out for a Chester throw in. Woodthorpe with it. Hatfield keeping him under pressure. He has to check back to Pollock. He goes back to his keeper. Long ball forward from Harrison. Chested down, but Hatfield again keeping the pressure on. And getting in ahead, nipping in ahead of Tom Piers there, winning the ball and winning the free kick. Great work from Will Hatfield. Free kick to Darlington. Pete Jameson will come out to take it. Forbes to Barrow. And back again. Across the lead. He's got a couple of Chester players for company, but he finds his way through both of them. And via Flint, it lands with Griffiths. Flint goes down the right hand side to get it back. Ball over the top from Flint, lands with Maskell. He chests it down, appeals for offside not given, tries to play it to Main, but maybe too short and couldn't get onto the return pass. Cleared up the left hand side for Chester. Caton brings it down and sets off down that left hand side, pursued by Callum Griffiths, who does a great job of holding him off and gets to it first. And Lees can bring it away now. Too much on it that time though, could have played it out to Flint but didn't. Chester will come again. And they're going to get a free kick, and are we going to see the game's first yellow card here? Referee just having a word with Will Hatfield, and he does show him the yellow card. Ball just bouncing around loose for a little while, and Will Hatfield catching his man, concedes the free kick about 25 yards out, just left of centre if you're Chester, and Will Hatfield becomes the first name in this evening's notebook. Daly and Hancock's standing over this for the visitors. Hancock's leaves it for Daly. He fires one in right-footed. Dipping, but over.
Yeah, another good effort from Chester there. They just couldn't quite get it up and down. It was... looking at it, I was wondering whether it was just a little bit too far out, but it certainly got plenty of power on it, but just couldn't get it down before it went over the bar.
Hobbs and Hatfield exchanging passes. Ball now with Lees. Griffiths. Al-Shabib. Chester marshalling him well, forcing him back. All the way back to Lees. And he goes back to Jameson. Darlington will start again. And that's been the tale of this game so far. Two sides organising themselves well and not allowing for many gaps. Ball down the left hand side for Barrow. He takes it down nicely. Bit of room in behind for McGowan. The Chester defender slides in well. Ball runs loose to Hatfield though. He's got it on the edge of the area. Lays it across to Main. Main twisting, turning, making a nuisance of himself. Out to Al-Shabib on the edge of the area, right hand side. He cuts inside, left footed. Shots deflected just wide. Well, we saw the deflection from up here. And Jack Maskell knows it's a corner, but the man in the middle who makes the decisions disagrees.
Yeah,
I am sure that got a deflection.
It certainly looked like a corner to me from where we're standing here. It looked like it took a fairly clear to see deflection, but the person that matters and makes the decisions thought otherwise.
Well, to us, like it gets a deflection and goes wide there from the Al-Shabib effort, but Declan Brown, tonight's referee, pointing for a goal kick. Free kick lands inside the Darlington half, drops loose. Flint picks it up, but again bobbling around a little bit. Chester can come all the way down the left with Hancock. Flint battling for it really well. And he's got the ball down in the corner now. Under pressure from Hancock, he manages to dink it away, but only as far. And now Al-Shabib bringing the loose ball clear. A little bit of a break on for Darlington here, but tracking back well from, I think it was Hugel on that right hand side for Chester. Ball swung in left footed. That's a good delivery actually, and then Hatfield has to get in to slide away the loose ball, and chance for Maskell to bring it forward. Ball through the middle for Main. That's a really good pass, but maybe just too much on it for Harrison. Just too much on it for Main, sorry. Harrison able to collect at the edge of his area, but great idea from Maskell. And now it's Chester's turn to come again. For the most part, very organised, chess-like kind of game of football, but occasionally a little bit of end-to-end does break out. And ball forward, well shepherded by Forbes, bounces off the Chester player and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, and that was the typical what's known as end-to-end football. Started off by a really, really good tackle in the box from Callum Griffiths, first of all. And then the ball suddenly sprung free, and then the next thing I know, there's an opportunity at the other end for Darlington, but just overhit slightly. So it's what's been a sort of, I wouldn't say a cagey game. It's been, sort of, but suddenly it's just opened up there those last couple of minutes, and chances at both ends almost.
And here come Darlington with the ball now. Barrow up the left-hand side, looking for Maskell, headed away. Bainbridge bringing it forward now, running into Will Flint. Barrow immediately pinging it back up the left-hand side again. Maskell trying to help it across the middle. Cleared before it could reach Main. Barrow in again. Main will get to that one. Back to goal, under pressure. Wins the free kick. 3 Chester players surrounding him. Darlington taking it quickly. Flint to Griffiths. Al-Shabib on the right-hand side, just checks for a second. He's got Griffiths behind him, plays it to the edge of the area. Hatfield with the shot, loops up nicely for Harrison, straight at him. We've seen him put those in the top corner before.
Yeah, certainly, and it's one thing that Hatfield and both Will Flint are actually managing to find those positions just outside the box, and managing to pick the balls up, and you know, they're getting the shots away.
He heads away the clearance. Al-Shabib down to McGowan. He can't quite get the ball under control before he's challenged, but Al-Shabib brings it away from the loose ball. He's got Maskell ahead of him. That's a shirt pull, and that's going to be a yellow card, is it?
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the more obvious shirt pulls that we'll see this season, and no surprise there that the yellow card's been brandished by the referee.
Woodthorpe, I think it was, evening up the card count for this evening. Just past the half-hour mark then, free kick to Darlington. Just inside the Chester half, laid back to Forbes to Hatfield. Flint with a little bit of room, he checks back to Lees. And he's got to go back to Jameson. Jameson to Lees. Flint with it now, right hand side for Griffiths. Back to Flint. He's just under a bit of pressure there, and he's lost out to Tom Pearce. He's going to come down the left hand side, cuts it inside for Hancock. He gets away left footed, and Jameson has to tip it round the post.
Yeah, unfortunately Will Flint just caught out there. Just you could see how the ball just got caught up under his feet there, and couldn't get it loose and couldn't get it back out again, and just was hassled off the ball, and resulted in a very good chance for Chester there, and resulted in Jameson having to make a good one-handed save down to his right-hand side to tip the ball away for the corner.
Working the ball into the area. Mitch Hancock's it was with the shot. Now he's gone over to take the resulting corner. Jameson down quickly. Waves his arms across himself to signal, and then aborts the first attempt to take it. Now he does deliver left-footed. It's quite a deep one, just beyond the penalty spot. Cleared away by Flint to Main, and he takes it down nicely and turns. Sets Al-Shabib away on the left-hand side. Coming on, Al-Shabib brings it forward and pings it diagonally. Maskell's there! Oh! And it's just dropped the wrong side of the post. Wonderful ball in from Ali Al-Shabib. Jack Maskell gets there ahead of Harrison, and just gets there ahead of him, just the wrong side of the post though.
That was an absolutely lovely ball there from Ali Al-Shabib on the left hand side there, just almost kind of floated it in, and Maskell found himself basically with a free header, and to be honest it should have been 1-0 Darlington there.
Just needed to glance that past Harrison, and that's what he did, but unfortunately for Darlington, he glanced at the wrong side of the post. Flint gets a foot in to play it to Al-Shabib. Back to Forbes to Jameson. Jameson's ball forward, headed back towards him by Bainbridge. Chester bringing the ball forward now. On the right hand side. McGowan keeping, I think it's Rawlinson under pressure over there, or is it Pearce? Can't quite see from here. Apologies to any Chester supporters listening if I'm not getting the player names quite right, or the players quite right. Hatfield bringing the ball away though from that ball across the area, just intercepts. McGowan, chance to play it over the top for Al-Shabib. He's going to tries to nod it down, but the ball runs loose again. He's kept hold of it. Maskell to Main. Main on the edge of the area. Has Harrison stretching, and I think he was always getting to that. Main couldn't quite get the power on it, but it's another chance. Yeah,
the game's suddenly really opened up, hasn't it? From what started off quite a tight opening, both teams feeling each other out and feeling the way into the game. It's suddenly become quite open, and again Main did really well to turn and get his shot away, but the Chester keeper did well to get down to his right hand side and save.
Ball forward helped on its way by Pearce, but cleared away by the covering Forbes. Chester will come again on the left hand side. Pearce just trying to flick it over Griffiths, but Lees behind him will half volley that up the right wing. headed away before it can get to main by Pollock. And this time Forbes up in the air. Away from Lees, but just a little too much from Flint there, trying to win that ahead of Mitch Hancock's. And Chester will get the free kick. Maybe 3/4 of the way from the touchline to the left-hand edge of the penalty area, but about 30 yards out. Into the final 10 minutes of the half now. Still goalless, but both sides with chances, both keepers with saves to make. Daly leaves it for Hancock. He delivers left-footed. It's a good ball, gets a flick over the bar.
That was a really great. That was a great free kick in there. It was right in that. I think that's what they call the corridor of uncertainty for the
Indeed
keeper there,
was,
where
yeah.
it was Jameson. It's one of those, didn't know where to come in or out. And to be honest, I'm not sure. So apologies which Chester player it was.
Burke coming in around the back.
Yeah,
there.
Just needed to stick a leg out there and could have put Chester 1-0 up.
Yeah, he did stick his leg out, but only succeeded in putting it over Pete Jameson's bar from close range. And a very good delivery from Mitch Hancock's. Darlington will note that. The ball at the right hand side nodded out for a throw in. Maybe about 18 yards from the byline to level with the edge of the Chester penalty area. Griffiths to Al Shabib. He takes it and turns inside, tries to ping it across left footed. Maskell leaves it back heel, neat little back heel. A slightly louder penalty shout this time. Maskell's back heel, and he goes to McGowan, but he goes down in the area, nothing given. Chester can bring the ball away. Barrow caught a little further forward than he might have liked, and it's cleared by Lees, but only to the right hand side. Chester will come again, and again a chance at one end, and all of a sudden it's at the other end. Blink and you'll miss something in this one. Ball out to the left hand side. Hancock's across the area, but Flint will get to that and intercept. Only as far as Woodthorpe. He nods it back to Pollock. He just volleys one forward under pressure. Piers battling with Lees, manages to chest it down and tries to lay it back to Hancock, but volleys it over his head and out for a throw in. Griffiths with that throw in. Lees with the ball now. Gives it to Jameson. He just walks the ball to the edge of his area. Sprays it out to the right hand side for Griffith. He chests it down. Forward to Maskell. Laid back to Hatfield. Hatfield to Griffiths. And back again. And again Hatfield unable to turn and bring it forward. Has to lay it back to Lees. Lees to Jameson. His clearance headed back towards him, but Forbes on that second one. Lees this time, but he's caught as he clears it by Piers, I think it is. You can hear the shout from up here, but he's okay. Into the final 5 minutes of the half. A goalless half that justifiably might not be goalless, but both keepers been equal to everything so far. And when there have been half chances, they haven't been converted into goals. Jameson's ball forward. Al Shabib nods it on. Cleared. Flint rising highest, and that's going to come to Lees now. Lees out to Griffiths. Griffiths under pressure from Piers, manages to slide it back to Lees. Lees to Jameson. Jameson, the left hand side, helped on its way. It's going to drop for Main, but he can't win it on the edge of the area. And then a couple of Darlow players left kicking at thin air, but it comes to Flint. He plays it out to Griffiths. A little bit of room on the right hand side. He pings one across the area, headed away. Caton brings it down back to goal. Heads out to the right hand side, but leaves the ball for, I think that's Hugel. On the left hand side, but Barrow there first. They headed back to Jameson. Sorry, getting a bit tongue tied. Jameson just waving his players forward. Looks for Maskell, but it's nodded away before it can reach him, and that's going to be a Darlington throw-in back inside their own half. Forbes collects from the throw-in, plays it back to Jameson. Jameson looks for Maskell, nodded away from him, halfway line. A couple of back headers, Chester can bring the ball forward. Played up the left-hand side looking for Piers, he's got it, turns inside Griffiths. Gets to the edge of the area, chance to let one go right-footed, but no power on it, easily cleared, but again the loose ball drops to a man in yellow. Al-Shabib making a nuisance of himself, Woodthorpe gets around him. Tries to cross the ball in, Al-Shabib blocks it, and Jameson just prevents the... No, he doesn't. I was going to say just prevents the corner, but it does just cross the back. It just crossed the byline. And Chester have got themselves a corner. Hancock's delivers, edge of the penalty area, it's helped on its way, and then looked a very presentable chance about 3 yards out, and he's I'm not sure which Chester player it was, but he's managed to kick it out for a goal kick.
Yeah, somehow it suddenly found the ball at his feet, literally, as Michael says, about 3 yards out, but couldn't. I think he was trying to turn and get a shot away, but just unfortunately just miskicked it, and it went out for a goal kick. But again, another half chance.
Just had a message advising me that Darlington did have to make a change to their subs bench prior to kick-off. Alex Payne is on the bench instead of Matty Cornish, which would explain why Matty Cornish is currently about 8 feet to the left of me instead of sitting down there, injured in the warm-up. So he's not available today. Alex Payne has taken his place. But it's the 11 on the pitch we'll focus on for now, as Al-Shabib chases that ball down to the right-hand side, but it's shepherded out, he can't get to it. Chester throw-in. As our fourth official prepares the board to see how much more time we will have in the first half.
Looks like 1 minute, I think, there, Michael, on the board for additional time.
I can see, yep, looks like 1. I can see the bottom half of the number. And I don't think it would be 7. Yep, it is 1. And we're just heading into it now, I think. And it will start with a Chester throw-in on this left-hand side, just between the dugouts. Al-Shabib been able to win that one in the air ahead of Bainbridge. Ball's cleared, but drops loose. Al-Shabib will battle for it again and pressures the Chester player into a mistake. Will Hugel it was. Throw into Darlington. Plenty of throw-ins on this right side for Darlington. Callum Griffith's arms have had as much work as his legs so far tonight. Lees to Forbes. Forbes gives it back. Griffiths back to Lees. Lees to Jameson. Jameson clears up the middle of the pitch right-footed. Maskell rising highest, but it's Bainbridge right behind him. Blocks the attempted flick on. And here come Chester. Actually, that might be Bainbridge on the right-hand side, sorry. Hancock's left-footed. Jameson has to punch that one away. Flying to his left-hand side.
Yeah, the shot from about 20 yards out there, and certainly had made Jameson at full stretch there, just to tip it away to his left and out for a corner. But again, another good opportunity.
I'll have to see from here whether it was going in, but Jameson can't take any chances. Beats that one away with his outstretched right hand, and Chester will get a corner on their right hand side. I think it's their first from over there, and this might well be the last action of the half. And it comes, nodded away, and the referee blows for half time. It's been a lively game, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry, I was just watching Steve Watson having a little bit of an animated conversation with a fourth official there, just not quite sure what's happening on. But yeah, it started off a little bit cagey, both teams feeling their way into the game and just settling down. But since then, both sides created plenty of opportunities. As I said, it's turned into a fairly open game, and probably arguably Chester with a better chance of the half hitting the post when Pete Jameson was beaten early on in the half. But certainly chances at both ends for both teams.
Yeah, if that continues, you don't see it ending 0-0, but as it stands at the break, that is what it is. Goalless. Darlington 0, Chester 0. Chances, as Keith says, for both sides in what became a very open first half and a very entertaining first half as the players wander off back down the tunnel, and we wait to see what instructions both sides will have for their respective 11s. If you are watching us on National League TV, it's now going to go quiet across half-time for Darlow Fans Radio. We'll bring you some half-time tunes and some half-time updates from other games around the National League North. But wherever you are, however you're watching, however you're listening, bear with us, and we will be back in around 15 minutes. Second half about to get underway. Fireworks going off all around Blackwell Meadows, but still waiting for the spark inside the ground that will properly set this game alight. There have been chances in the first half, but it ended goalless. And now Darlington will look to build on that in the second half. Attacking the tin shed, we are underway. McGowan takes the kick off back to Jameson. Ball to the left hand side, headed away from Maskell by Burke. Barrow with the throw in, back to Forbes. Forbes across to Lees. Lees to Griffiths. Griffiths back to Jameson. Looking for Maskell, he gets the flick out of this time, but too much on it. Main's not going to get to that one ahead of Eli Harrison. Hopefully, if you are watching on National League TV, it's picking us up loud and clear once again. Griffith slides in to clear the layoff, and then Al-Shabi charges in on the second attempt and wins his side the throw in. Just on the halfway line, down in front of the seated stand where we'd normally be. But we're on the telly tonight, so we're up on the balcony. Griffiths to Lees, Lees across to Forbes. Forbes out to the right hand side for Griffith. He nods it on to Al-Shabib. He's just being forced back towards his own goal, but lays it off to Flint. He has to turn as well. Fizzes it back to Lees. Darlington will build from the back. Across to Jameson, and the second half, albeit a couple of minutes in, starting a lot like the first half did. Darlington having to move the ball around and probe and wait for openings. That loose ball drops to Flint. He plays it to Griffiths. Griffiths tries to play one up the right hand side, but it's charged down. It's not going to go out for a throw in. Chester will collect through the middle. Nodded away by Lees, collected by McGowan. He's under a little bit of pressure. He's got Hatfield going on ahead of him. He's got Barrow out to the left hand side, and that's where he decides to go. Nice ball over the top. Barrow will get to the byline, manages to cut it across. Main was behind him, difficult to generate the power, but he gets the direction on it at least. Comfortable take for Harrison.
Yeah, again another half chance there. Just again Barrow doing well down the left hand side. I think it caught everybody out thinking he was going to get put the cross in first time there, but eventually when he got to the main, it was a difficult chance to almost have to head the ball backwards to get it on target. So fairly comfortable saving then for the Chester goalkeeper.
And collects that and turns it left footed up the field. Main's got a little bit of work to do on that left hand side. Collects the ball. He's got Maskell in the area. He's got McGowan on the edge and Al-Shabib. Main's first attempt charge down. He collects it again, gets to the byline, cuts it low. This time it's cleared again. Barrow inside to Flint. He turns, looks for options. He's got Griffith on the right hand side. Griffith winds one up, charge down. Forbes collects. He'll bring it forward through a couple of Chester players. Plays it to McGowan. He rides the challenge. Forbes leaves it for him. McGowan keeps going, cuts inside again. Left footed over the top, looking for Main, but it can't quite reach him. Bainbridge will lay it down for Daly. Hatfield in to clear that one away. So they look to bring it up the right hand side.
Again there you can see, Michael, how Chester sitting with those two lines of four, but when we do manage to get the ball in between those two lines, there just seems to be a little bit of confusion from the Chester side, whether it's the defenders are pushing out or the midfielders dropping back, so there's opportunities there.
Maskell lays that one back to McGowan. He plays it across to Griffith. He's got a bit of room to run into now, brings the ball forward, dinks it into the middle. McGowan leaves it, drops to Main. Into the second half, ball across, evades everyone. Cedric Main gets onto it, right-footed under Harrison into the back of the net. Darlington lead.
And again there, another chance had just fell to Cedric, just literally right in the middle of the goal, about 6 yards out by the looks of things, and they just had to turn and put it away.
Harrison just couldn't get down quickly enough.
Yeah, and you could say arguably it's been coming, and Darlington have had the better chances since the break. And it was a great finish by Cedric Main there to put Darlington 1-0 up.
Darlington 1, Chester 0. 5 minutes into the second half. We said at half time this one probably wouldn't end goalless if it carried on the way it was in the first half, and within 5 minutes we've been proven correct. Cedric Main gives the Quakers the lead, and we are back underway again. Heads it up, Hatfield back, not getting to that one. Bainbridge will hook it away to the left, comes down. Hatfield wins it though. Another away by Forbes. Hatfield just tries to get it under control, but a little bit of a battle. Slid away by Hubel, only as far as Barrow. He plays it at the left hand side. Maskell's going to chase that one down. Harrison will get there first, plays it away right footed. And when Piers rises to try and win it, the offside flag goes up. Jameson comes walking out of his goal to take the free kick. Jameson brings it forward, Main rises highest, they'll help it on its way, but that's going to go through to Harrison before Maskell can get to it. And he rolls it out. Chester come down in search of an equaliser. Played forward, Forbes heads it away, Flint brings it under control, things went out to the left hand side nicely. McGowan inside for Maskell, bit of room for him to run into between the lines. His control lets him down a little bit. It's taken away from him. Darling will come again though through Hatfield. McGowan just too heavy on the touch that time. Goes out for a throw in. Just trying to take the ball away from Hatfield and retain some possession, but touch just too heavy, and that one goes out over the touchline. Harrison Burke with the throw in for the visitors. Main man indeed. Burke pings that one forward, headed away by Lees. Shabib rising but not winning that one. Lees will head it away again as far as Griffith this time, and he plays one up the right looking for Al Shabib. He's in a foot race with Woodthorpe, who wins that one. Collects it again, plays one up the middle, left footed, evades everyone, and Lees will collect. McGowan lays it back to Forbes. He gives it to McGowan, he plays it back to Lees. There's Barrow, to Jameson. Jameson's ball forward, headed back by Burke. to Jameson. Jameson throws it out to Barrow. Skip it forward to Main on the halfway line. Back to goal. He turns nicely. A bit of strength. McGowan comes to help him out. Gives it to Flint. Griffiths is going to have to backtrack a little bit there. Flint played that out to him under a bit of pressure. But he gets to it. Lees brings it forward. Barrow screaming for it on this left-hand side. Lees just puts too much on it. Head in his hand, an apologetic hand. But a good idea. You could hear Barrow from up here screaming for that one played down the left. Toby obliged. Just too much on it for the Darlow skipper to get to. Chester throw in. McGowan heads it back. He's going to come down on the halfway line. Lee's battling for it. Loose ball drops to McGowan, but he's adjudged to have been holding. I think it was Charlie Caton. Free kick to Chester just inside the home half. Taken by Hancock's to Daly. He crosses it in right-footed, but it's cleared. Al-Shabib can bring it away. Just caught under his feet a little bit. He just has to check his run. Griffiths across the area. Barrow bringing it away now down the left. Lays it back to Lees. Sorry, Forbes. Going forward, Lasker had broken through the lines, but he wasn't going to get to that ahead of Harrison. Comfortable take for the Chester keeper on the edge of his area. Harrison clears long, headed away by Forbes. Helped on its way by Flint. Ball comes back, Griffiths catches a high foot there. Gets the decision. This evening's referee, it's Declan Brown, just to remind you, assisted by Stephen Burkett and Liam Smith, but just double checking. Callum Griffiths is okay there, back up on his feet. No need for the physio. Toby Lees leads the free kick for Jameson, about halfway inside the Darlington half, fairly central. Jameson takes it out to the left hand side, nodded away. Buckhill will help it back again now. Main batting in the air, loose ball drops to Maskell, but he has his pocket picked, and then two Chester players get in each other's way. And that's going to be a Darlington throw in. Harrison Burke shepherding it out. He thought that his side were going to get the decision, but I had a feeling from up here that was going to go away of the home side, and it did. Scott Barrow will take it, gives it to Main. He lays it back. Barrow crosses it in, left-footed first time, nodded away. Flint tries to intercept the clearance, and he might get the second ball. No, he won't. Chester bringing it forward. Ball over the top for Caton to chase. Forbes is going to get there first. Helps it back to Jameson. Caton's carried on. Jameson has to clear under a little bit of pressure. And that's going to drop for a Chester throw-in, halfway inside their own half. Burke takes that throw-in, helped on its way, but cleared again. Flint with it now for Darlington. Just tries to clear one to anywhere, left-footed. Main will set off after that with Rawlinson, the Chester captain. Back to his keeper, he clears it. Hatfield heads it forward again. Main will collect that, he's onside. There were a couple of Chester players just still catching up with the line. Main will take it on the left-hand side, plays it back to Hatfield. Little difficult for Hatfield to bring that one under control though, and Chester can take it off him, bring the ball forward. Piers lays it to Hugel, he brings it forward over the halfway line now. Al-Shabib keeping the pressure on well, and Griffiths comes across the cover. Brilliant work from the two of them on that right hand side. Al-Shabib with a little back heel, gets bundled over, gets the free kick. Stayed down, Al-Shabib. I think he's going to be okay, he's just needing a second. Uses up a little bit of time. A fantastic player over the past couple of games. Al-Shabib got his goal on, got the opening goal on Saturday, turning that one in at, I was going to say at Farsley, it was at Buxton against Farsley. Jameson just sets the ball. And just about quarter of an hour through the second half, sorry, Darlington 1, Chester 0. Cedric Main, about 5 minutes in. Jameson's ball forward, headed away, and Chester will bring it forward again, but intercepted. Volleyed up the right hand side for Pearce to chase. He is going to get to that, drills it across the area. Cleared away by Lees, helped on its way by Hatfield, but only as far as Burke. He swung in right-footed from Hugel, but Darlington intercept again, and Barrow will bring the ball clear now. Bit of room on the left-hand side for McGowan. He gets dragged down by Hancocks. Gets the free kick. Scott Barrow just wandering back to take it. Referee just maybe looking to give Darlow a bit of a hurry up as the clock gets close to the 15-minute mark. Barrow looking for Maskell or Main. Maskell battling forward against Rawlinson, but illegally in the opinion of the official. Just to get the free kick on the edge of their own area. Free kick taken. Evades the first couple of challenges, and the loose ball cleared only as far as Hugel on the right hand side. Has to cut inside, brings it across now, he's into the middle. Al-Shabib almost cutting that one out. Chester retain possession with Pollock. More to Pearce, he tries to turn it around the corner, intercepted, and Darlington can bring it away again. Al-Shabib with it now, collected from Griffiths. Evades one tackle but not the next, and gets a free kick. Pete Jameson will come out to take, in no particular rush. You still get the feeling that Chester will find a way to test Jameson again before this match is over. Neither side has made any changes so far. Clearance from the Jameson free kick only as far as Al-Shabib, but the ball is cleared away from him for a Darlington throw-in. Just lands in that seated stand and given to Toby Lees. He sends it across to Callum Griffiths to take, although he, air quotes, can't bring it under control to pick it up, and that'll use up a few more seconds as Jack Maskell has to pass it back to him again. Now he's got it in his hands. Gives it to Toby Lees. Lees to Hatfield. Hatfield round the corner for Griffiths. He has to try and head it on its way. Came at him at a bit of a height and a bit of pace. Chester collect the loose ball, play it back to the keeper. Well, it's not going to get to him, so it needs to be helped on its way by Rawlinson. Harrison cleared under a little bit of pressure from Main, the goal scorer. Barrow nods it back to McGowan. McGowan to Griffiths. Nice little ball with the outside of his boot. Griffiths looking down the left hand side for Hatfield, nodded away before it can reach him, but McGowan will collect the loose ball. I thought Barrow was going for that, but McGowan collects it, gives it to Main on the edge of the area. His touch is a little bit heavy, gives Chester a chance to clear it away, but Flint's in there battling for it. Finds Hatfield on the left hand side, gets it back. Flint right footed this time. Maskell's in behind, but it's cleared just before it can reach him, and Harrison collects it the second attempt.
Another good crossing by Darlington there, and just a couple of things I just noticed there. One of the things that stood out for me there was, to be honest, just how much Cedric Main's got some space at the edge of the box there. It's not very often that he finds himself in probably a couple of yards of space with his back to goal, but the Chester defenders at the moment just seem happy to sit in the line of four and just let him drop off a little bit.
Darlington bring the ball forward again. Chester prefer their first change. Bit of a legend of theirs, Kurt Willoughby. As they look to dance through the Darlington defence and get themselves an equaliser here. That was Will Hugel evading a couple of tackles, and when he does get the shot away, he's off balance, left-footed. And it's going to be Charlie Caton replaced.
Again there, good chance for Chester there, tricky in the box in these conditions for defenders to keep the feet. You could see it was one of those where, you know, the attacker had very quick feet, moving the ball well, but just couldn't quite get the shot on target.
Charlie Caton on 9 for the season, but he won't be adding to that tonight. He's been replaced by number 9, Kurt Willoughby. Now, the last time we saw a number 9 come on for the second half at Blackwell Meadows for the visitors, it didn't end well for us, but the Quakers will be hoping to keep the door shut for another 22 or so minutes tonight as Maskell collects that ball and leaves it for McGowan. McGowan out to the right hand side, Al-Shabib round the corner for McGowan, who kept going, just trying to fashion some room for the cross, but gets fouled in the process. And to see from here who it was, I think Hugel possibly, or maybe Pollock, but Darlington get the free kick. Probably a little unnecessary, that one.
Yeah, to me it was one of those, it was a fairly soft free kick to concede from Chester perspective, and it's in a dangerous area now where it's another opportunity for Darlington to put the ball into the box.
Arrow's gone across to take it. Both centre-backs have wandered into the area. Lifted in, headed away, only as far as the edge of the area. Al-Shabib leaves it for Hatfield. Hatfield across to McGowan. McGowan, I think, maybe thinking about the shot for a second. A lot of bodies to get through though, so he leaves it for Barrow. Barrow across right-footed, cleared away again. But danger still not averted for Chester. Darlington picking up the ball. McGowan about 30 yards out to the right-hand side. Barrow stayed over there. McGowan, Hatfield. Griffith over on the left for the moment. Neat ball to Forbes. Back to Main. Forbes again, Darlington just trying to find a gap. And eventually, well, Hatfield with the header, but wide. Actually, no, it's not. Maskell.
Looks like a couple of more changes coming up for Chester as well.
Ewan Murray stripped and ready, and see who that is next to him. Jordan Hunter. Harrison gets us underway again. Nodded away, Main making a nuisance of himself, just caught and stumbling a little bit, but Maskell covering well and charges down the clearance. Going to be a Chester throw in. Hunter, an unused substitute on Saturday, but he's going to get some time here, and he will replace Ben Pollock.
I think that's a Ben Pollock coming off there. I think it was at Spennymoor last season, if I remember right.
And a third change, Rhys Daly will be withdrawn for Ewan Murray. So that's 3 Chester changes. Darlington yet to shuffle their pack. And Jordan Hunter's first action will be to take this throw in. Nodded away, Murray immediately involved as well down the right hand side. Barrow slides in to prevent any further progress. Chester throw in. Barrow's up and hobbling a little bit after that one. Hunter with the throw-in, gets the ball straight back. Shout for offside not given. Barrow charges down the attempted cross. Back to Hunter, he pings it in right-footed instead. Loose ball drops to Hatfield, he clears. Maskell with a neat ball around the corner, that time for Al-Shabib to run onto. He just has to check his run, well covered by the Chester defence. Nice ball around the corner for Maskell, couldn't quite reach him. Immediately in to try and win it back though. Ball pinging around loose a little bit. Maskell will go off after that one, but Chester can bring it clear. Left hand side, maybe an appeal for a throw-in. Nothing doing. Nice ball out to the right hand side for Hunter from the visitors now, and the substitute can bring it forward. Slides it round the corner of Barrow for another substitute, Murray, to try and deliver. Charge down, cleared by Hatfield, and Main just Did he do a lot wrong there? Chester free kick. Hunter with it up the right hand side. Barrow looks like he'll get to that first, and he does, but he's under pressure from Piers. And he's conceded the corner. Has he now? Goal kick. Piers just getting a foot in as he tried to win the ball back. I thought that was a corner.
Yeah, I must admit that looked a corner to me.
Wouldn't be the first corner that and that we thought was a corner and signalled for a goal kick, but this time it's in Darlington's favour. Into the final quarter of the game now. Darlington still with that 1-goal lead, courtesy of Cedric Main. Jameson's goal kick headed back into the Darlington half. Forbes will leave that under some pressure from Tom Pearce. Darlington throw in. Steve and Terry huddle together to have a discussion. Maybe some changes coming. We know Cedric Main hasn't played a full 90 just yet, but he is working his way up to fitness. Barrow with the throw in. Maskell helping it on its way. Acrobatic volley clear by Rawlinson. Forbes all over the back of his man there, but it drops loose to a Chester player anyway. Murray with it now, back to Hunter. Inside for Pears, over the top, neat little flick that for Bainbridge. He tries to half volley it across, it's charged down by Forbes, it's a Chester corner.
Yeah, and the substitutions that Chester have made are just giving them a little bit of impetus back into this game here.
Corner comes in, that's going to land about 15 yards away, helped on its way but cleared. Main collects the ball from the clearance. He's got a lot of work to do though. He's got 3 Chester players swarming around him. Does really well to find anybody there. Maskell gets caught as he tries to help the ball on its way. Nothing given. Chester can bring the ball forward again through Burke. Now on this right hand side at the moment. Looks inside but Maskell's covering well and Hatfield can clear. Up to Main, he tries to help it around the corner, but that's charged down. It's going to be a Darlington throw in. Good covering back from Jack Maskell there. Darlington throw in to be taken by Scott Barrow. 26 minutes gone. Taken to Forbes, he'll play it across the area to Lees. Lees to Griffiths. Lees back to Jameson. Darlington just content to keep the ball and be patient. Maskell up to win the header, but no one behind him for the flick on. Go through to the Chester keeper. Hunter with it now for the visitors. Hugo forced to check and play it back to Hunter, and he's forced back to his keeper. Hunter takes the ball from the keeper again and then has to give it back under pressure from McGowan. The header through. Willoughby collects. Out to Murray on the right hand side, back to Hunter, the 3 substitutes combining. Hunter lofts one in right footed, nodded away, it's going to go as far as Willoughby though. His shot's charged down on the turn and Flint is able to clear up as far as Cedric Main. Main being held very tightly from behind there by Harrison Burke, and the referee gives him the decision as Darlington's prepared to send on Caden Kelly. I think it might be for, I think it's Cedric Main that's going to be coming off. They're going to make the change now, or are they going to take the free kick first? Looks like we're going to take the set piece first. Scott Barrow just putting the ball down. across the field. Ball drops loose for Al Shabib off Hatfield's challenge. To Griffiths, now to Flint, who's had to come back. Forbes to Hatfield. Hatfield turns, tries to make some inroads. He's being, I thought for a second that Hatfield was having his shirt pulled, but the referee gives it the other way. And who's he shown that to? Al Shabib, possibly?
I'm not sure actually, but just looking at the substitution here, I'm not sure whether this is a little bit of a reaction almost to Chester's changes, where they've now changed the shape and have got an extra man in midfield at the moment who and it's changed the game in the point of view that Chester is certainly picking up a lot more of the ball now, so there's probably an element of this change as to for Cedric, as Michael said, not to building up his match fitness still, but also just to put another body in midfield, just from a Darlington perspective.
Cedric Main for Caden Kelly, and we think that yellow card was shown to Al Shabib. He was certainly the nearest player to it. I was a little worried he was showing it to Will Hatfield for a second. He was booked in the first half, so we wouldn't want to see another yellow waved in his direction. And the Quakers would be finishing this one with 10 men. Main off, Kelly on, 15 minutes to go. Will Cedric Main be the match winner, or is there more twists and turns to come in this one? Willoughby does well to retain possession there, plays it out to Hunter on the right hand side. Hunter delivers one right footed, nodded away. McGowan tries to help that forward for Al Shabib, but just has his pocket picked by Murray. I thought he was coming away with that for a second. Murray's pass easily read, but McGowan's attempted ball inside just gives it back to the visitors, and they will come again. Bainbridge with it now. Eddington over the top looking for Hugel. He's going to get to that. Has to hang one up right footed. Comfortable take for Jameson under his crossbar. Into the final 15 minutes now. Darlington still with options on the bench. Payne, Rivers, Salkeld, Leasley. Chester still with Dan Turner and Kevin Roberts. Maskell can't quite get to that one. Al Shabib unable to pick up on the second bounce. Chester will bring it away, although they're pressured into putting it out for a throw-in. Scott Barrow will take. Takes it to Al Shabib. He brings the ball down and is immediately challenged. Ball is cleared, but Forbes will collect. Nods it to Barrow. He hooks one right footed. Gets caught afterwards. Gets the decision. Gives Ewan Murray a somewhat disdainful look, shall we say. Words being had with the fourth official from the Chester dugout. As Barrow hooks that one forward. Hatfield nodding it back to Maskell. He turns on the volley, but that's well over the bar. Maskell up there as a lone striker again, as he often has been, although Al Shabib's kind of hanging up there with him to try and help him out a little bit. I suspect he'll drop back into midfield once this ball gets once we get underway again. Maskell's played that lone striker a lot with the injuries to Main and the injury now to Nelson as well. As Chester prepare a fourth change, Dan Turner readies himself for action. Maskell brings that one down and tries to hook one over the top for Al Shabib. He brings it down nicely. The ball runs loose. McGowan can't quite win it. Ball forward from Chester, headed away by Lees. Flint can't quite rise high enough to help that one on its way. Chester will come again through Bainbridge. He lays it back. Rawlinson, Chester captain, turns and tries to bring the ball forward out to the left hand side. Over Griffiths, but Lee's covering. Knocked away, bounces away off a Chester player, cleared away by Flint again. Out for a throw in this time to the visitors, and they will now make their fourth change. And it's going to be Mitch Hancock's coming off. With about 12 minutes to go. And he's delivered some dangerous balls into the box, Mitch Hancock's. Darlington probably won't be too sad to see the back of him. But for the final 12 minutes, they will have to cope with Dan Turner instead. 4 changes now for the visitors. Darlington still just the 1. Although I can see Cameron Salkeld getting ready to come on. Hunter plays one at the right hand side, but that's bent out of play. Throw into the Quakers, then Scott Barrow will take it about halfway inside the Darlington half. Salkeld just receiving some instructions from Terry Mitchell before coming on. Barrow takes the throw in, Maskell helped it on its way. Al Shabib round the corner for McGowan, bit of space on the right hand side for the run of... Oh, Caden Kelly almost picking his way through there. Nicely found, but just couldn't quite beat his last man. Is that going to be a throw-in? No? Yeah. No, yes it is, sorry. Alan Griffiths has it, but Darlington are going to make their change first. And it's going to be Ali Al-Shabib withdrawn for Cameron Salkeld. Another good game from Ali Al-Shabib. With 10 minutes to go, he's replaced by Cameron Salkeld. Ten minutes to go, Darlington 1, Chester 0. Cedric Main scored the goal. He's since been withdrawn. Down to 10 minutes to hold on for a second straight win and a second straight clean sheet if they can keep Chester out for another 10 or so minutes. Maskell battling well for the ball there, but losing out as Chester bring the ball away. Play the ball up the left hand side, but that's going to be collected and cleared away by Jameson. Offside flag goes up. Chester get us underway again really quickly with Hunter. He goes back into a bit of a gap between Rawlinson and Harrison, but in the end the captain comes and plays it back to the keeper. Darlington keeping the pressure on. Maskell chasing nicely and does well there. And he thinks he should have the throw in as well. Got a foot in. To throw into the visitors. Hunter to take it. Gives it to Burke, and then plays it back to his keeper. Salkeld sets off after it and almost catches him napping. And now Flint's picked a pocket, gets to the edge of the area, plays it to Caden Kelly. Kelly shot charge down corner. Tinshed appreciating that one. The longer the ball stays in front of them, the closer we get to the 3 points. Darlington corner, Scott Barrow jogs over to take it. On what is Darlow's right hand side. Swings it in left footed, nodded away into the area and battling for it, but it comes away. Chester have got numbers forward here, but Willoughby just slips as he tries to deliver. And there's a chance for Salkeld here running through, but Harrison's going to get to that first. And we've got a Chester player down as a result as well. Maybe just caught a trailing limb. Attendance confirmed inside Blackwell Meadows this evening, 1,260. And back underway again. Harrison kicks the ball out of his hands. Just over Forbes, but Barrow covering. Plays it against his man, gets the throw in. And roughly 7 minutes to go now. with the throw-in. Maskell rising highest to help it on its way. Salkeld can't win the second ball, but it comes to McGowan. He's got 3 or 4 players around him. Salkeld helps him out. Ball through the middle for Caden Kelly. Is this Kelly's first goal for Darlow? No, it's not. Shots charged down. Good ball through to him from Salkeld. Good chance. And then Salkeld in, racing off after it to win it back. Gets a fortunate bounce, plays it out to Kelly on the right hand side. He plays it in right footed. Salkeld just gets something to help it on its way, but it's cleared. Darlington will come again. Maskell wins it in the air, but the loose ball drops to the goalkeeper. And Maskell's just stayed down holding his head, and the referee has to stop play. Just maybe caught as he rose to battle for that one. And the physio is waved on. Darlington with the chances there to maybe wrap this one up. Salkeld sliding in. Caden Kelly, but his shot was charged down. Darlington 1, Chester 0. Cedric Main's goal 5 minutes into the second half, the difference. Jack Maskell up and okay, though he of course has to leave the pitch temporarily. Joe Leasley just having a word with Terry Mitchell about something. And we will resume with a drop ball for the visitors to move into the final 5 minutes plus whatever's added on. Hunter back to the keeper, Harrison. He will bring the ball forward and play it long right-footed. Nodded away by Forbes. Murray with it. Barrow keeps him company. Hunter goes to make himself available on the overlap. Murray dinks it over the top looking for him, but he can't get anything on it, and it goes out for a goal kick. Team Ched bursting into a supportive chorus for the managers. Stevie Watson, Terry Mitchell. Closing in on a victory here tonight, 4 minutes to go. Jameson's goal kick nodded back across the middle by Burke and then nodded back by Kelly. A little bit of head tennis ensues. Maskell rising for it and battling. Ball eventually hooked over the top, but Lees will clear. Maskell lays it back to McGowan. McGowan's touch just puts him into trouble, but he battles well to win it back and plays it over the top looking for the runner Salkeld. Salkeld's going to get there ahead of Hunter, but the flag will go up.
Just marginally offside there, Michael. Just Cam Salkeld, just half a yard offside there, but it was another good idea from Darlington. But I'm sure now what, as you say, as we're into the last 5 minutes, of Chester probably going to throw everything at us in these last 5 minutes.
Attendance 1,260 for those asking in the chat. Maybe eaten into a little by Bonfire Night, Tuesday night match. As Chester come forward, but their ball over the top goes out for a goal kick. Just keeping an eye on the referee as Pete Jameson places the ball at the edge of his 6-yard box just to see if he starts giving any kind of hurry up signals. Jameson gets us back underway. Burke's header goes backwards, gives Hunt some work to do under pressure from Salkeld, and Salkeld almost picks it off him, but he gets it back to Harrison. Harrison plays it right-footed into the Darlington half. Laid back nicely by Piers, but Lees gets there first. That's going to go out for a throw in to Darlington. Both sides claiming it, the home side getting it. Colin Griffiths will take it. over Maskell, but the ball drops to his feet as he tries to win it back, and a little bit of a battle over there with McGowan involved as well. Griffiths comes away with it, slides in well on the second ball, but it runs for Chester. Piers brings it away from Hatfield, but Flint in there covering, but ball again running loose for Chester. Neat little back heel, keeps the pressure on. Kelly's going to try and keep up with that. Ball out to the right hand side for Hunter now, a little bit of space. It's all a bit congested over on that left hand side. Hunter through the middle for Willoughby, slides it back to Murray. Salkell's clearance bounces off him, but kindly. Tackle is going to be Darlington throwing. All the 50-50 seem to be going Darlington's way for the most part. Salkell challenged for that one. Barrow with it as we move into the final minute of the 90. Come on, dig in, the instruction from the Darlington dugout. As we wait to see how many minutes will be on the board in the hands of the fourth official. As Chester come forward again. Barrow helps it back to Jameson. Heads it back to him. Jameson just rolls it into the corner, waits for a bit of pressure from Tom Piers, picks the ball up. Jameson just waits for as long as he can get away with. Clears it out of his hands, halfway into the Chester half. Maskell tries to help it on its way. It was left unmarked there. Salkeld almost got through on the flick on. Ball's cleared. Flint rises high. We're going to have another 6 minutes. That feels excessive to me.
It does feel, yeah, not quite sure where 6 minutes has come from. I suppose there's been a few substitutions and a couple of injuries.
A couple of short injury breaks and a goal, but I don't know, 6 minutes. Darlington have done the classic game management thing of keeping hold of the ball for as long as they can get away with when, well, like this, when Jameson's got it, as it rolls through to him, but I don't know. 6 minutes then to keep the door shut. Jameson has the ball on the edge of the area. Clears it out towards the left wing, but out of play before it bounces. Cedric Nain awarded man of the match by the sponsors tonight. He is the difference between the two sides at the moment. As Maskell gives it back to McGowan. McGowan plays it up the left hand side for Salkeld to chase. And chase it he does, but knocks over Harrison Burke in the process. Concedes the free kick. Salkeld just trying to make sure it's taken from the right place, and the referee needs to go over for a word, and Cameron Salkeld will collect a yellow card for his troubles. Free kick taken by Chester then, a minute and just about 2 minutes of the 6 gone. Chester press for an equaliser. Darlington can bring the ball away through Maskell. He pings one out to the right hand side for Kelly to chase, but Woodthorpe's going to get there first. Ball up the left hand side, but there's no one in yellow there to collect it, and Toby Lees will pick that one up, although he slips and just about gets his left foot, just about gets a foot to it while on the floor to put it out for a throw in, but that was a nervy moment just for a second.
That was one of them horror moments there when everything looks fairly comfortable and then the centre defender suddenly slips over.
Ball comes in from Chester, nodded away. Salkeld battling and gets dragged down, and that's going to be a free kick and another yellow card. I want to say he showed that to Woodthorpe, but if he did show that to Woodthorpe, he'd be off, because I thought Woodthorpe got booked in the first half. I could be wrong. Didn't immediately see who actually dragged Salkeld down there. But it is another Chester player in the book, and it is a Darlington free kick, and we are halfway through the 6 minutes. 3 down, 3 to go. Jameson out to this left-hand side. Over Maskell, and he leaves Burke on the floor. Burke just went flying over the top of him. And he's up looking a little uneasy. Chester take the throw in quickly. Burke just hobbles away holding his back. Forbes heads that one back into the Chester half. It doesn't get very far though. Flint helps it backwards, and then Lees completes the job. Back to Jameson, who backpedals as far as he can get away with before picking the ball up. And just jogs across to the other side of his area. Bainbridge nods it back forward as Chester looks to come again. Loose ball lands with Hatfield. Chester player pulled down. Free kick to the visitors. About 10 yards inside the Darlow half. Everyone except Eli Harrison into the Darlow half now as Chester push for a late equaliser. Ball cleared. Barrow will get rid. Up the left hand side, that's going to go out for throwing, is it? No, it's just bounced inside the line. Kelly will chase. Hunter back to his keeper. Kelly almost picking it off Harrison's feet, but he gets it clear. Barrow wins the clearance, and McGowan's having his shirt pulled there, but he's come away with it, has he? No, he's put it out of play. It's going to be a Chester throw in, I think. Hunter will take it, and once again 21 bodies evacuate the Chester half. Barrow clears it for another Chester throw into the final minute. Hunter plays it across, cleared by Flint, collected by Murray. He plays one towards the edge of the area, nodded away again, but Murray collects it again. Hunter's got all sorts of space on the right side if he can find him, and that's where he goes now. He's got a little bit of space. Hunter brings it down. McGowan's gone out there to keep him company. Barrow's covering the option a bit further up. Jameson collects, drops on the ball. 20 seconds to go.
You would like to think that should be about it for this game.
Get this airborne, and we could well see the final whistle blown, I think. We will see. Jameson takes the kick, and that is it. Darlington take the 3 points for the second game in a row, and a second clean sheet in a row as well, courtesy of Cedric Main on 50 minutes, turning in from close range. It wasn't a bonfire night game full of fireworks, and there were no rockets to talk about, but at the end of the day it's the 3 points that matters, and they stay at Blackwell Meadows this evening. Darlington the winners here by 1-0.
And I would say overall, Michael, I think it was a pretty professional display from Darlington overall. You know, there were certainly chances for both teams throughout the game, but you know, we certainly just, when it mattered, just seemed to create in the second half there. Just seemed to have a sort of 10-minute spell where we created quite a few good chances before Cedric eventually got his goal. But to be honest, I must admit, I thought Jack Maskell had a very good game tonight. I thought Ali Al-Shabib again had a very good game, and we created plenty of problems for the Chester defence. So it's a very, very valuable 3 points. He's really well earned and a really professional performance.
Yeah, first half very open. It was a bit cagey to begin with. Both sides organised themselves very well and forced a lot of sideways movement, not a lot of forward passing. But once the game opened up a bit more, Darlington began to create chances. Jack Maskell could have had a couple in the first half, Al-Shabib as well, before eventually Cedric Main, 5 minutes into the second half, after we'd predicted it wouldn't stay goalless, it didn't. Cedric Main the difference, and Darlington will keep the 3 points tonight. As the home side heads over to take the plaudits from a tin shed that has mostly stayed behind and is very definitely in good voice. Scott Barrow with the fist pumps. He's a happy captain tonight.